All right, so first things first, if you haven't already done so, I need you guys to put in your thesis statement and your 3 points. Those of you who I highlighted in orange, keep yourself highlighted orange, because then I know I have to go back and check yours since I've kind of been making my way through everybody's. So keep yours highlighted, but I need you guys to add that as soon as possible. If you're struggling, let me know, and we can kind of come up with ideas to help you get to the next step. So I did go through everyone in this class, and like I said, don't unhighlight your name because that's a sign for me to go back and double check things. So now we are to the point, I did not mean to do that. Now we are to the point where we have to pick and start to proceed with the outline. So a couple things that I want to go over. Don't do your intro and conclusion yet. You can't really introduce, and I always say this, you can't introduce or conclude something that you haven't written yet. And a lot of times that creates disconnect. It's very tempting to do the intro first, but wait, hold off on it. If you have some ideas that you want to put up in there and trickle in there, that's fine. But for the most part, I want you guys to wait on this and really focus on your body paragraphs. So all in all, you should have 3 body paragraphs. If you end up needing 4, that's absolutely fine. I know some of you had 4 points instead of 3 points, so do whatever works for you. I would like you guys to put your thesis statement in here and highlight it, whatever color you want, because I like that to be obvious as we're making our way through the essay. So focusing on this body paragraph, remember, your goal is these body paragraphs should come back and support your ultimate goal, which is to prove your thesis statement. You guys have some really great ideas. I'm super excited to read about them. A lot of them are very, 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 very different, so that's even more exciting. So if I were you, I would pace yourself and try to tackle a body paragraph a day. Now, I would like you guys to maintain the numbers and letters in here. You can add more numbers and letters if you need to, but you can have multiple sentences that follow after each letter or number. The reason I want to force you to do this is because outlines a lot of times are a part of Comp 1 and Comp 2. Some people love them, some people hate them, and a lot of times people feel like they're kind of restricted by it, but I want you guys to keep the numbers and letters. This is going to be due next Wednesday. So after next Wednesday, the hope is that you have a lot of really great, complete thoughts in here, and in theory, you should just have to erase the numbers and letters to be left with a thoughtful paragraph, having to just do a little bit of tweaking. So the reason I force you to do this is because right now my Comp 2 crew, they're writing a 10-page paper. And my biggest complaint with those kind of papers is that things get lost and the papers get unorganized very quickly, very easily. One way to avoid that is by an outline. So I know you might find it a little bit annoying to have to do an outline for just like what will probably end up being a 2 to 3 page paper, but it's just really good practice for a larger paper on the scale of like 10 pages, which is part of the Comp 2 curriculum. So bear with me, hang in there, keep those numbers and letters. I can't emphasize enough, keep those numbers and letters in there. And just put you can erase this stuff and just write your sentences afterwards, whatever works best for you, but I want it to be organized. So your topic sentence is going to start us off and give us just a quick idea. Hey, here's what I'm going to talk about. Here's what this is going to be about. In your claim, here's where you're going to start to introduce your quote and give your readers some context. So if I'm writing about Nick and Gatsby's superficial relationship, and that's my thesis, I want to say, I believe Nick and Gatsby have a superficial relationship because Gatsby is driven by the mere fact that he wants to get in touch with Daisy, and Nick has quick access to her. So what I'm gonna do here is I wanna bring up the scene where they meet outside Nick's house. Gatsby has all the lights on, and he's asking Nick to set up this meeting. So what I would do in the part that I have highlighted is I would say something like, here in the story, Nick's come home from a long night out and sees Gatsby waiting outside his home. Nick understands right away that Gatsby is trying to talk to Nick, but Gatsby's being rather awkward about it. In fact, Gatsby invites Nick to Coney Island, but Nick pursues to find out what Gatsby really wants. And so then I would probably go into my quote where he asks about creating a meeting with Daisy. So here's where I put my quote. You want to make sure that you do the correct things. You know, you have your speech tag, comma, your that with your brackets. If you have a capital letter that you're dealing with there, or you want to have your complete sentence with a colon introducing the quote. Don't forget at the end to put your page number. You only have one source in this essay, so there's no need to put Fitzgerald. Whenever you have one source and you make it obvious that there's just going to be one author you're dealing with, you don't have to mention the author's name every time. Now, when you have more than one source, you have to make it very clear who is talking, who you're referencing. So you'll provide that quote, and then here's where you will explain it. So you will go into talking about, I might say something like, Nick's response makes it very clear that he knows Gatsby, and he's not a true friend to Gatsby. And Gatsby is really just seeking out Nick's help and advice in order to get a connection to Daisy. This is obvious with, and then I would give my reasons why and support the idea that the relationship between Nick and Gatsby is superficial. Nick's very self-aware of it, and Gatsby's purely driven by trying to reconnect with Daisy. So the most important thing, and this is, I'm going to remind you of this over and over and over again, is you got to connect your paragraph to the thesis, because we don't do that in CQCs because there is no thesis to connect back to. So what you guys need to make sure is you remind us, how did all of this information up here prove your point up here, your highlighted thesis statement? So remind us of that. Hold off on doing E, because you can't connect and transition into a paragraph you haven't written yet. So keep that part empty, and we will go over that when we do intros and conclusions and transitions. So hold off on that, but I would make it your goal as we progress through the week to try to really hash out a paragraph a day. Have as many complete sentences as you can, be as thorough as you can, so that when it's all said and done next week, you guys should just have to erase some of your stuff and feel like you have accomplished a good deal, and you're just going to have to tweak a couple things. That's the whole mission of an outline, is for you to feel like it's pretty much already done. You're just going to have to do some editing. So that is your goal today. Get a solid first body paragraph done. If you're struggling with finding a quote, there's a quote you really wanted, I have two suggestions. Email me or come back and see me, and I can give it to you very quickly. Or you can look up the Gatsby PDF, like online, and I posted it too in Classroom. Let's say you're looking for a green light reference. If you hit Control F while that document is open, it'll highlight every time the word green is being used. So that could also be helpful in helping you guys find some quotes. But please reach out, and I can help you get what you need. Or if you're not quite sure what quote is really going to support your main idea, your big subpoint, then come and ask me, and we'll figure that out together. But your mission is accomplish these body paragraphs, be thorough as much as possible. The next couple days are work days, so hopefully by the end of Thursday you feel like you've accomplished a lot and you have your body paragraphs done. So that is